Okay, my dear children, today we are going to start with lesson number 10 from the moments. The name of the lesson is The Beggar. Name of the lesson is The Beggar. So after getting this particular title, The Beggar, what are the host of association, the host of thoughts that comes to your mind? The thread of the thought or some of the thought that comes to your mind are that why people beg, okay, why people start begging for alms, beg for ALMS, alms, because of the circumstance, maybe because of the laziness, maybe if the people are very much lazy, if they do not work at all, then they will be suffering from poverty, and out of poverty, in order to maintain themselves, in order to provide them with the food and the money, they will have to beg. So that is one reason. That means it is not only the fate, but also the character of the person which is also responsible for the condition of the person. Therefore, it is well said that character is destiny. My dear children, you just write it down. Character is destiny. Destiny का मतलब क्या है? Destiny का मतलब है luck, LUCK. Luck means आदमी क्या है? आदमी खुद का जो तकदीर है वो बनाने वाला है. भगवान तो पक्का मदद करते हैं, उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है, लेकिन आदमी जो है, आदमी का तकदीर खुद बनाते हैं. मतलब man is the architect of his own fortune. Okay, therefore it is said that a sleeping fox catches no poultice. My dear children, so after being suffering from the poverty, what the person does, he starts begging, and when this begging is the worst of the profession, and nobody actually likes this particular profession of becoming lower in front of others. But many times, my dear children, what happens when you are coming with association with some important people, some people who are really good human being, they can really make some drastic change in your life. आपका जीवन में आपका तकदीर एकदम बदल देगा. ऐसा कुछ मतलब घटना होगा और ऐसा कुछ एसोसिएशन होगा, कोई आदमी के साथ कनेक्शन होगा, and that connection will be the turning point in your life, and that will drastically change your life, my dear children. Therefore, here also in this lesson, it is a very, very interesting lesson. Here we will get to know how the beggar change his ways and become very independent and become a respectable person through somebody, through some agency. Who are those agents? Those agents were the supervisor, the cook of the lawyer, and these are two characters, the lawyer and the cook. Sergey and Olga, they become very pivotal in the life of the beggar Chikov, and how it will come to understand, okay, when we go through the lesson. So here we go, let us continue. So first let us see the starting of this lesson, my dear children. So this is the text of your lesson. You see, one rhetorical question is asked here. One rhetorical question. You see, a rhetorical question, the answer of which is assumed or understood. You can have the understanding. You can guess what will be the answer of it. उनको मतलब क्या बोलते हैं हम? rhetorical question बोलते हैं. rhetorical question. ये question मतलब आंसर आप कुछ गैस कर सकते हैं. तो इधर हम देखते हैं what induced the beggar Chikov to change his ways. Let's read and find out. तो इधर जो हमारा हीरो है, हमारा हीरो कौन है? हमारा हीरो और प्रोटैगनिस्ट कौन है? Chikov है. Chikov का प्रोफेशन क्या था? His profession was begging. He was begging from door to door. And we'll notice some event occur, and because of that event that was so vital or crucial, that was so important, that changed his life. Okay, that actually changed his life very completely. Therefore, let us go to the text now. First, let us see, and I will read out this first part of the lesson, and after that, we will be going further the analysis of the lesson. So here we go. Let us continue. Kind sir, have pity. Turn your attention to the poor hungry man. For 3 days I have had nothing to eat. I haven't 5 kopecks for a lodging. I swear it before God. So have you understood, my dear children? So ऐसा जो starting होता है, ये starting को क्या बोलते हैं हम? ये starting जो होता है ना, ये story का जो starting होता है, इसको हम dramatic starting बोलते हैं. मतलब इसका कोई इंट्रोडक्शन नहीं दिया होता है, ये ऑल ऑफ ए सडन ये स्टार्ट होता है, और इसका जो स्टार्ट होता है ये एब्रप्ट होता है. क्या होता है? एब्रप्ट. ऑल ऑफ ए सडन the story start means that the story start in a very dramatical manner, and we see that there is a person, and the person's name will come to know. Already we have got the hint in the beginning, and the person is no other than the beggar, who himself is the narrator of the story. Okay, therefore what he tell? So he is telling into the imperative sentence. He is making some plea or request. Okay, वो मतलब क्या कर रहे हैं? Pleading भी कर रहे हैं, है ना? Request कर रहे हैं with folded hands. He is telling, sir, have pity, turn your attention to the poor hungry man. है ना? हम बहुत गरीब आदमी हैं सर, हम बहुत गरीब हैं, हम बहुत भूखे हैं, और आपका जो अटेंशन है मेरे तरह थोड़ा ध्यान दीजिए, क्योंकि हम 3 दिन से कुछ भी नहीं खाया, और मोर पर्टिकुलरली आई हैवंट 5 kopecks. Now see, 100 kopecks is equal to 1 ruble. Ruble is the currency of Russia. Therefore, so you come to understand that this setting of the story certainly will be where? It will be Russia. But in which part of Russia, that will also we'll see. So it is the capital of Russia. The capital of Russia, okay, capital of Russia was changed many a time. And the time that we are talking about at the time, okay, at the time the capital was in Saint Petersburg. Saint Petersburg. That means in Russia, Saint Petersburg, I am writing only P for Petersburg, and this was the capital, and the story starts here, and that means that the setting of the story is Saint Petersburg. And this particular lesson, my dear children, was published in the year 1887. You note it down, ये बहुत important है, आपको हिस्ट्री का भी नॉलेज होगा, और आपका क्यूरियोसिटी भी बढ़ जाएगा कि ऐसा मतलब वो टाइम में मतलब कौन राजा थे, कैसा, ओके, व्यवस्था कैसे थे, मतलब what type of a system prevailed, what was the thought, feeling, the way of, okay, way of dressing, everything will come to know when you read the story of Russia in 1887, when this lesson was published. My dear children, let us go for it. For 8 years, I was a village school teacher, and then I lost my place through intrigues. ये देखिए, अभी देखते हैं. So उन्होंने बोला, लश्कर ने बोला, नरेटर ने बोला कि मतलब हम क्या हुआ, I became the victim of some plot, है ना, हमारे खिलाफ मतलब क्या हुआ, कुछ षड्यंत्र हुआ, मतलब कुछ प्लॉट हुआ, कंस्पिरेसी हुआ. क्या हुआ? कंस्पिरेसी हुआ. वो कंस्पिरेसी के कारण हमको क्या हुआ? I lost the job. मतलब मेरे बारे में मेरा अथॉरिटी के सामने कुछ झूठ मतलब बात बोला गया, उसी के कारण हम नौकरी खो गए थे. और मोर पर्टिकुलरली I was a teacher, a dignified job I had. I lost it because of the lies, because of the plotting, because of the conspiracy, heads by conspiracy, that is HATCHED, hatched or plotted by, made by the colleagues, my fellow friends. Okay, I fell a victim to calumny. I fell a victim to calumny means it is a kind of defamation, है ना, defamation. अभी देखिए, है ना, डिफेमेशन होने से मतलब क्या होता है, ये कमिंग फ्रॉम फेम, FAME, फेम, है ना. डिफेमेशन मतलब उसका उल्टा होता है, फेम मतलब रेपुटेशन है, और डिफेमेशन क्या है, वो मतलब जस्ट अपोजिट ऑफ फेम, मींस बदनाम करना. आई बिकम द विक्टिम ऑफ कैलमनी मींस हमको बदनाम किया गया थे, हमको बदनाम किए गए थे. बाय हूम? बाय माय फेलो फ्रेंड्स, जिसको हम कलीग बोलते हैं. इट इज ए ईयर नाउ सिंस आई हैव हैड नथिंग टू डू. और ऐसा ओके, अभी 1 साल हो गया और मेरा कोई नौकरी भी नहीं है. ऑफ नथिंग सर, सो हैव पिटी ऑन मी. सो माय डियर चिल्ड्रन, ये जो अभी जो अपील है ना, उसका जो रिक्वेस्ट है, यू सी, रिक्वेस्ट और अपील मतलब बराबर है. रिक्वेस्ट, अपील, प्ली, प्लीडिंग, ये सारे मतलब बात एक है. वो अपील क्या है, मतलब ये आवेदन किया है, निवेदन किया है, वो ओके अर्नेस्टली बोला है कि सर देखो मेरा कंडीशन इतना खराब है और हम इतना अच्छा पोजीशन में थे, आदमी लोग ने मेरा खिलाफ मतलब षड्यंत्र मतलब रचा के हमको क्या क्या अभी फुटपाथ में डाल दिया. तो अभी हमको एक अच्छा ऑफर मिल गया, एक टीचर का जॉब के लिए. कलुगा प्रोविंस, रशिया का, ओके, रशिया का एक प्रोविंस है जो मतलब कहा है, वेस्ट ऑफ मॉस्को में है, ऑन द साइड ऑफ द रिवर ओका रिवर के एकदम बाजू में हमको एक मतलब नौकरी का ऑफर मिला. लेकिन सर क्या हुआ ना, मेरा पास अभी उधर जाने के लिए पैसा नहीं है ना. तो ऐसा मतलब अभी बोलने के बाद everybody will have what? Everybody will have the sympathy. Everybody will have the sympathy or the pity on him, and therefore out of the pity or the sympathy, people will give what? People will be so generous to do give, or so generous to do surrender many kopecks or many rubles. And then in this way he can manage his food just by telling lies after lies. So my dear children, तो हम तो आंसर आपको बोल ही दिया. ये जो बात उनके थे, ये क्या सही थे गलत थे? तो पहले डिस्कशन से आपको थोड़ा बहुत अंदाजा चली गया, हाँ, कि हाँ ये तो लगता है ना, लगता है कुछ गलत बोला गया है ना, कुछ गलत बोला गया है. वो तो सच नहीं है. झूठ आदमी कब बोलते हैं? झूठ आदमी तभी बोलते हैं इन ऑर्डर टू गेट द सिंपैथी एंड पिटी. झूठ आदमी क्यों बोलते हैं? कुछ मुनाफा मिलने के कारण. ओके, मुनाफा के कारण मतलब झूठ बोलते हैं. तो ये भी हमको लगता है कि may not be true. How it is true or not, we will go through it and then we will come to understand. Now see, अभी हम देखते हैं और कुछ लाइन देखते हैं. The advocate sir जी, look at the ragged fawn-colored overcoat of the suppliant, at his dull, drunken eye, at the red spot on either cheek, and it was seemed to him as if he had seen this man somewhere before. So now the particular place where we are talking about, it is the drawer of the lawyer. Name of the lawyer is Sir G. He is the advocate. He is a famous advocate in the capital city of Russia, that is Saint Petersburg. And when he came, so he was begging from door to door. And when he went to the doors of Sergey, then he looked at the man. When the man was making appeal, he looked at the man, he saw the dress, he saw his eyes, and after that he remembered something, more particularly when he looked at his feet. उनका चप्पल, उनके जो जूते थे, वो जूते देखने के बाद उनको बहुत कुछ याद आ गए. वो क्या याद आ गए? हाँ, ये आदमी को तो हम पहले कहीं देखा है ना. और कुछ रिकलेक्शन मतलब करने लगा वो, और कुछ मतलब वो याद करने लगा. याद करते करते हाँ, ये आदमी तो दूसरा कुछ बोले थे तब, है ना, तब उसने उसने बोले थे कि I was expelled. I was expelled. So now Sergi understood that it is not the truth that the beggar is telling. So he is telling the white lie. White lie. Let us see now. So my dear children, in this way you will go through the lesson and you will come to understand the fact of the matter. So he found him into the Sarvodaya street. He found him in the Sarvodaya street and then he told, yes, I saw you there, and then at that time you told something else, okay? You told that you have been expelled. Then now what happened? So he was caught red-handed. After catching him red-handed, now he was telling him, so can you not work? Then after a lot of discussion, so the advocate wanted to give some work to him, and then in this way he was going on giving work month after month, and finally he gives some noble work of writing or copy, so work of the notary. And a friend of him needed the notary, and with a letter he recommended his name to be appointed in the position of the notary, and in this way his life was totally changed. And after 2 years both of them meet in a particular theater. At that time this little old man, there is a lot of changes in him. So he was into the coat, he was wearing the coat, and he was waiting for the ticket. He was waiting for the ticket in the theater or in the film. Therefore he wanted to have the ticket to watch a movie, and then at that particular moment what happened? So it was the beggar Chikov who told what was the real story, who actually was instrumental in bringing the change in him. It was Olga, the cook, to whom Chikov is very much grateful, because it is because of her that this transformation occurred in him. So my dear children, this is in brief the story. Now we will go to the detail of the analysis of the story. Okay, we will go to the analysis of the story. So this is in short, you will see these pictures. Okay, the pictures are also given. So you will see this is the change position. So a lot of new words are also there, and you will have to know the new words. One is the calumny, we have already told. Kopek, already told. Suppliant means the humble plea or the request. Mendicant is the beggar. Swindling is cheating or deceiving. Billet here means a small thick piece of wood. Waif means the homeless person. Shovel means remove. Roasting means scolding. Sot means habitual drunkard. So my dear children, now let us continue. So we will be going to the analysis. Okay, let us go to the analysis, and here we continue. Let us go to it. Okay, my dear children, so once again let us make some review, and then we'll see the summary in a systematic manner, and we'll go to the MCQ questions, so that it will be a kind of the revision of the summary. It will be kind of the revision of the story, and also you will be capable of writing the answer to the long question also. Now let us continue. So the beggar. Anton Pavlovich Chikov was a Russian playwright and short story writer. Chikov shared a strained relationship with his abusive father, and influenced his writing. So here the writer is Anton Chikov, a Russian playwright or dramatist and short story writer. So here we are writing, we are reading a particular short story. Name of the short story is The Beggar. Therefore, let us continue. Let us continue now. So this is the image, my dear children, image of our writer, image of our planet. So this is our Anton Chikov. So this is the particular picture, and in this picture we will come to understand how Lashkov was given the work of making the wood or cutting the log of the wood. So the picture. So let us continue now. So here we go. So Anton Chikov was born on 29 January 1860 in Russia. Name of the place was Taganrog. Taganrog was the name of the place where he was born. He died where? He died in Baden-Württemberg in Germany. Baden-Württemberg in Germany, and the year was 1904. So he was popular because of his short stories and the plays. Now let us continue. So let us see the introduction to the short story. The Beggar by Anton Chikov is a short story of a poor drunkard beggar named Lashkov, who due to the impact of the alcohol is no longer able to work and resort to begging in order to survive. Now in this lesson the writer gives the hint of the impact of the alcohol. So due to the impact of the alcohol, so he was unable to do work. He was a drunkard, okay? He was a confirmed drunkard. He was a very poor, and because of his drunken habit, he lost his job also. And finally, what he took the help of begging in order to survive in the struggle of life. He also began to lie about himself, hoping to gain others' sympathy. Now see, so when he was begging, many times he was lying. Okay, one after another he was telling lies in order to get the sympathy, in order to get the sympathy of the people, in order to get the pity of the people. Okay, people will have the sympathy or the pity on him, and then they will be giving alms or giving kopecks or ruble, okay, in plenteous manner. Sergei, an advocate, provides a work for Lashkov to change him from the confirmed drunkard to work. It is his cook Olga who is responsible for the positive change in him. So in this particular lesson, when we talk about the theme, my dear children, when you are talking about the theme in a particular lesson, there may be one or more themes. Okay, इधर एक थीम क्या हुआ, एक थीम है थीम ऑफ चेंज, है ना, थीम ऑफ चेंज, और क्या है ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. एक जीवन मतलब क्या होता है, सुधर जाते हैं, एक परिवर्तन आ जाता है. वो सुधर मतलब क्या है, दिस ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन और चेंज फॉर द बेटर, है ना. खराब से मतलब क्या होता है, अच्छा की तरह आते हैं. और दूसरा है कि इधर और एक दूसरा जो थीम है वो है ग्रेटिट्यूड. मतलब बिकमिंग ग्रेटफुल, है ना, बिकमिंग ग्रेटफुल, है ना. किसी के पास मतलब क्या हो ना, बिकमिंग लॉयल और बिकमिंग ओबीडियंट और showing the gratitude, becoming obliged. So you are introduced to, in a specific manner you are introduced to this lesson. Now we will see the summary, and first we will be seeing the point, particularly the key point of the summary, and then we will be expanding the key point in order to give the detailed summary of the lesson. Here we go. Let us continue. So first let us see advocate Sergei, okay, detained whom? Detained the beggar Lashkov. Advocate Sergei detained Lashkov, and then he cognizes the beggar that he is a lawyer. He puts him to do work. Beggar ready for work. He gets ready for the work. Beggar is given various kind of work. Work was given or managed by Sergei for the beggar. Lashkov the beggar offered other employment, fine kind of, okay, good or fine kind of employment was given. Okay, it is not the manual work. Lashkov tells more about Olga the cook. So after 2 years, what happened? Both of them meet together in front of the theater, and then he got the opportunity, Lashkov got the opportunity of telling his heart about Olga, the cook, who was a very much kind, sympathetic for the poor beggar. Now let us see the next part. Lashkov tells about himself, and Sergei and Lashkov meet after 2 years. Now let us see the detailed summary of the lesson. There we go. Let's continue. The story begins with the beggar's plea to an advocate, Sergei. The beggar says that he has not eaten in 3 days. For 80 years he was a village school teacher and fell victim to the conspiracy that cost him the reputation and his job. For a year he had no employment or job. Sergei looked at the beggar's overcoat and face. He thinks he has seen him elsewhere. So my dear children, so this is the start of the lesson, and so at the start we are in front of the door of the lawyer. Name of the lawyer is Sergei, Sergei. So he is an advocate, ADVOCAT, advocate. So he was an advocate, and where he was practicing? He was practicing in Saint Peter's, Saint Peter, Peters, Burg, Petersburg, which was the capital, capital up to 1914. Up to 1914, it was the capital. From 1700 and 1712, it was the capital of Russia. And then some two time change were there, and finally it was again into the year 1991. It was again made the capital of Russia. So now let us see, it is in the capital city, and the advocate maybe he was preparing for going to the court, and at the time that the beggar came, and then he was asking for the alms and asking for some mercy. Then the advocate remembered something, he recollected something on the basis of observation. His observation of the dress of the beggar, his face and the eye of the beggar, and more particularly the shoes of the beggar. Then finally he recognizes. So he was able to recognize him. Therefore, the beggar is described. Sergei recognizes the beggar. Now let us continue. The beggar further explains that he has been offered a position in the province of Kaluga. Kaluga is the particular province which is toward the west of Moscow. Moscow, M-O-S-C-O-W, Moscow, and it is just on the river Oka. Oka is the river, very famous river. Okay, like our Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Brahmaputra, and other. So this Oka also is a very famous river, and by the side of it there was Moscow, and toward the west of Moscow this Kaluga province was there, and he told that he was offered a job, but to take it up he needs money. Sergei observed to the beggar's overshoes. One of higher than the other. He certainly remembers where he had seen the beggar before. He tells the beggar that 2 days ago, he met him in the Sarvodaya street, and the latter had claimed that he had been a student who had been expelled. Okay, now see. So Sergei recollected something. So he recollected that yes, just after seeing the overshoes. So he recollected what? He recollected that he has seen this beggar because his shoe, one of the shoe was little higher compared to the other one was lower. So then he remembered that I have seen you in the Sarvodaya street, and at that time you told me that you were a student who had been expelled. Beggar is surprised and claimed that he has a paper to prove that he was a village school teacher. Now the beggar was telling that no, actually I have a paper, I have got the certificate too, I can show you. I was not a student, I was a school teacher. Sergi turns away from him disgusted. Sergi got very much disgusted, or he was very much surprised and little unhappy also, and turns away from him. Okay, he changes direction, he go away from the beggar. Sergi says that for this fraud, he will call the police. Now Sergi actually threatened that the beggar Lashkar said that he will be calling the sergeant or the police. Whether the police will come, they will catch him and put behind the bars. And now everybody is afraid of police. When the fear of the police came at this particular moment, the beggar confesses that he used to be part of the Russian choir and he had been expelled for drunkenness. He says he has no choice but to lie, as no one will help him if he tells the truth. Now see, he was compelled, under this particular circumstance, he was compelled to tell the truth. So he was now telling to that. He was compelled to tell or indulge in lies. The fact of the matter, the truth, the whole truth, the final truth, the truth was that he was working in the Russian choir. Choir का मतलब क्या है? CHOIR. So in our system also, in Navodaya system also, in the morning assembly, the choir group will come and they will sing the community song or the other song. So this is called the choir group, means it is a cluster or the group of the children or people who sing. Sometimes they are professional and sometimes not. So in the case of the student, it is not professional. In the case of other, it is a professional. So he was working in the Russian choir, and because of his drunken habit, he was expelled from the position or the job. So he says that if I tell this the truth, nobody will have the pity on me, and nobody will be giving me money, nobody will be giving me kopeck or ruble, so that I can continue living, I can survive. Then let us continue. So you will remember that our father of the nation also, at one moment of his life in the childhood, told the lies, but he admitted the fact before his father, and the father had the pity, and then he did not punish him. So similar is the case here also. The Sergi took a pity on him, and then he put him into the work. So he told the beggar, will you work for me? Then he said, he was actually compelled. He actually was not willing to do work because he was very much weak. He was very much weak, or he was very much feeble or weak. He was not in the position of working because he did not have the energy or the stamina. He did not have the energy or the stamina to do work. But he was trapped. Okay, he was trapped by his own word, and therefore out of his own self-respect or dignity, he was compelled to say yes to the word. Let us see. Sergi takes the beggar home and tells his cook Olga to take him to the woodshed. Now he was taken to the woodshed by Olga, the cook, in order to make the firewood. Let us see now. It becomes apparent from the beggar's body language that he has accepted his job only out of the pride and shame, and not because he wants to work. Now see. So he was entrapped by his own word, and out of the pride. सभी का क्या होता है? सेल्फ रेस्पेक्ट होता है, सेल्फ प्राइड होता है, सेल्फ प्रेस्टीज होता है. तो आउट ऑफ द प्राइड एंड द शेम, शर्म की मारे और प्रेस्टीज के मारे वो वो वर्क को एक्सेप्ट किया, ना कि वो वर्क के लिए विलिंग था, एग्रीमेंट था, वो एग्री नहीं था. It is also apparent that the beggar has become frail because of the drink and vodka, and doesn't have the slightest will to work hard. So this apparent, you see this word apparent. So this word apparent means what? It comes from appear. Okay, that means seem. Okay, seem. अंदाजा लगता है. तो ये ऐसा मतलब apparent है, ऐसा दिखाई देते हैं कि the beggar was very much frail or weak, or feeble, FEEBLE. Okay, weak or feeble. So he has become very frail or weak because of his drunken habit. He was drinking vodka. Vodka is very much common in Russia. This drink is very much common there, and due to the impact of this vodka, he became very much frail or weak, and he did not have the capacity or the energy to work hard. Now let us see the next. The beggar is given the various kinds of work. Sergey observes Olga and the beggar from the window in the dining room. He sees them making their way through the snow to the woodshed. Now Olga and Chikov, they were proceeding to woodshed, and Sergey was observing them going to the woodshed. Olga doesn't seem to take kindly to the beggar. So this will be talk, T-A-L-K. It appears from a distance that Olga was not willing to talk with the beggar in a kind manner. Upon reaching the shed, Olga shoved the beggar aside with her elbow and angrily bangs the door. So after reaching the woodshed, what Olga did? Olga pushed whom? Pushed the beggar, because she understood that he was not willing to do work, and therefore just imagining his condition, you poor beggar, you have lost your life, so you have lost everything, your health or body also, because of the vodka. So you just go push with the help of the elbow. He was pushed aside, and then the door was banged or shut very hard. He then sees that the beggar sit himself on a log and look lost into the thought. Then at that time, what is the scene is that the beggar sat on a log of wood, and then he was lost in his thought. Olga finds an axe at his feet, spit angrily, and appears to be scolding. So what Olga did? Olga scolded him very badly because of his own condition, because of his own laziness, and then what happened? Where she scolded very badly and spit angrily. At this point, the beggar began to make the half-hearted attempt to chop a piece of wood. So because of this scolding, because of this spitting and scolding, because of this anger of Olga, he wanted to chop the piece of wood. Chop means what? Cut into many pieces. P-I-E-C-E-S. pieces. By now, Sergey's anger has vanished, and he began to feel ashamed at having sent a spoiled, drunken, and perhaps a sick man to do hard work in the cold weather. So it was the winter season, and now we go to Sergey. So Sergey's anger vanished or disappeared. So now there is a kind of repentance, okay, repentance or regret. There is a kind of regret or repentance in the mind of Sergey. वो ऐसे मतलब सोच रहे थे कि हम ये बुढ़ा जो आदमी है, जिसका पास कोई एनर्जी भी नहीं है, मे बी हो सकता है वो बीमारी भी है, ऐसा एक आदमी को इतना ठंड में काम पे लगा दिया, ये भी कुछ अच्छा नहीं हुआ. This was the kind of the thought that was coming to the mind of the advocate Sergey. Then after that, what will happen? After 1 hour, they will be reporting to the owner, that is Sergey. Let us see. After an hour, Olga informs Sergey that all the wood had been chopped. Sergey tells her to pay the beggar half a ruble, and also tell him that he can come back to cut wood on the first day of every month. There would always be work for him. Now see, regular employment in the first week of the month, he will have to come, and then in this manner he will be getting the regular work. So after 1 hour, it was reported to Sergey that the wood was chopped or wood was made, firewood was made. Then what was the payment? The payment was half a ruble. Okay, half a ruble. So this ruble, R-U-B-L-E, this is the modern form, you can write this one also. So this ruble is 100 kopeck. 100 kopeck is equal to 1 ruble. Means he was given half a ruble, means 50 kopeck he was given. That is the half ruble he was given, and then he was given the assurance that आप आइए अगले महीना आइए फर्स्ट वीक में आके आपको ये काम दिया जाएगा. You can do the work and you can get the money, half a ruble every month. Now let us continue. On the first day after next month, the wife came to the chop wood and earns half a ruble again, though he can barely stand steady on his feet. Now see, in the next month also, this wife means that the person who is not having homeless, vagabond, that is called the wife. Wife came to the chop of the wood, and at that time also he could not stand very constantly, steadily, means constantly on his feet, because he did not have the energy. His energy was ebbing, means decreasing because of what? Because of the vodka. After that he returns to Serge's yard many times and is given work every time. He shoves snow, or organizes the woodshed and dusts the rugs and mattresses. So after this regular work, so sometime he will be going to the Serge's yard. Okay, अंगन में जाएंगे और क्या करेंगे? उधर मतलब काम करेंगे. So he will be doing what? Shovels the snow. Okay, there will be snowfall, and this with the help of the tools, so he will be shoveling the snow, and many times he will be organizing the woodshed, and the dust also will be removed from the rugs and the mattresses. Every time he is paid 20 to 40 kopecks. 20 to 40 kopecks, almost half the ruble. And one time he is given a pair of old trousers. So he was given old trousers of Sergi also. When Sergi moves to new house, the wife is hired to help with the packing and moving of the furniture. This time he came silent, sober and gloomy. Now see, some change occurred in Lashkov. So in this particular time, when he was shifting his quarters from this place to another place into the city, at that time he was hired, but this time he became very sober. He became very much gentle, talking less, okay, talking very less, and he was very much gloomy or sad. He doesn't even pretend to be working. ये अभी जो है, earlier he pretended to work, okay, so he pretended that he is working even though he was not actually working. He shivers into the cold and become embarrassed when the carters laugh at his behavior and his tattered overcoat. So when he was not showing any kind of willingness for the work, then the carter. So do you know who is the carter? The carters are those people who are engaged in the shifting process, movers and shakers, है ना? तो ये कार्टर मतलब क्या किया? कार्टर ने देखा ही वो काम करने के लिए एकदम राजी नहीं है, तैयार नहीं है. Therefore they begin to laugh at him and his cloth. And after seeing this, he was embarrassed. He did not know how to behave. When people began to laugh at him and also at his dress. Now let us see the next part. Lashkov the beggar offered the other employment. So this time you will come to understand that he is offered a very fine kind of job. Sergi sends for him and says he is happy that the wife is working and is sober. He asks the letter for his name. The wife says his name is Lashkov. So this is the first time you will come to understand that he was asked his name and he told her that his name was Lashkov. Sergey offered him a better job and asked Lashkov if he can write. When Lashkov says that he can write, Sergey asked him to take a letter to someone. Someone means some friend. That the next day where he will be given copying work means writing work. Sergey reminds him to do work hard, be sober, and remember his word. So, this is the moment of the departure with a particular letter, okay, recommended to his friend to give the opportunity of the job, and with a piece of information and advice to be very hardworking and sober, and very much loyal to the master, and also asking him to remember his word. Both of them departed. So this is the time of the departure, and after 2 years once again they will be meeting. Sergey is happy at having set Lashkov on the right foot. So Sergey is very happy that he has put a person who went astray, okay, went astray means he went to a different direction. So he was put to the track. Therefore, just by doing one good work, people derive the pleasure. In the similar manner, Sergey also, after doing this piece of good work, he also derived the better pleasure. Lashkov tells more about Olga, the cook. Now let us see what is the time when in which this was told. 2 years gone by. Okay, 2 years gone by. One day, when Sergey is buying ticket at the theatre's ticket window, he notices a small man beside him wearing a coat collar of curly fur and a worn sealskin cape. So now they are in front of the ticket window, in front of the theater. So they are waiting to get the ticket or buy the ticket. Then Sergey, the advocate, looked at a very small person. Old person. He was wearing a fine coat collar, and also he was wearing a sealskin cap. This man timidly asked for a ticket and pays his copper coin. Sergey realizes this man is Lashkov and asks him what he has been doing. So this person, so after seeing this person buying the ticket, he actually remembered that, oh, this is the Lashkov, and then he was asking what he was doing. Lashkov says that he is doing well. He is a notary and earns 35 rubles a month. 35 rubles a month. Sergey is delighted and tells Lashkov that he is almost like a godson to him. He reminds Lashkov of the scolding he had given him and thanks him for not forgetting his words. So, after his success story, Sergey told that he was just like his godson. Godson means a person is a patent, and another person is promoted in his life because of the guardianship or because of his guardianship. So the person is changed, and therefore he is the godfather, and Lashkov is the godson. He also tells Lashkov that because of his scolding, he got a change, and I am grateful to you because of your change. Now let us see what Lashkov tells. Let us see. Lashkov thanks Sergey as well and says that he had it, okay, he had it with the help of Sergey's help. Okay, he become what he is now with the help of Sergey. Lashkov would probably still be lying and begging. He expresses his gratitude to Sergey, but says that it was Olga who saved him. He explains that when he used to go to Sergey's house, Olga would sit opposite him, become sad and weep, saying that Lashkov was an unfortunate drunkard who would find no happiness in this life or in the next. So because of this poor condition of Lashkov, Olga was weeping, and Olga was telling that this man has no hope in this life, and after his death also he will be burnt into the hell fire because of this particular way of life. Therefore, Seeing this condition either in this world or in the other world, she began to weep. She would cry and be miserable, but most importantly, she would chop the wood for him. Thank you. So she was not only crying, she was also working for Lashkov. He confesses that he never chopped a single piece of wood and that she had done it whole. He cannot explain how this act changed him and saved him. All he knows is that her words and kind did change his heart, set him on the right path, and he would never forget that. So this part is very important. The kind word and the noble deed transformed the heart of the confirmed drunkard. He was set into the right path, otherwise his life would not have been changed, and this will be always remembered by Lashkov. Then the theater's bell rang and Lashkov goes inside the gallery. So the bell of the theater rings and Lashkov and Sergei, both of them departed. Lashkov goes down to his master, the previous master, and both of them separated. So this is in brief, my dear children, is the summary, the content of this lesson. So my dear children, now this is the time for going for the MCQ. So we will be going to the MCQ. We will be discussing only few of the MCQ. Let us see the MCQ now. So this will be the kind of the revision. So will not take much time. So will be within 10 minutes time. We will be completing. Who is the writer of the story? Beggar. Anton Chikov is the writer of the story. Let us see question number 2. How was the beggar earning money? Means it is the mode of livelihood, the medium of livelihood. By telling false stories, by telling lies, by arousing sympathy into the listener. That means the answer D will be correct. Now let us see question number 3. Who did not give alms to the beggar? Who did not give alms to the beggar? So it was Sergei who did not give alms to the beggar, because he was caught red-handed when he was telling the lies. This is the story of this Lashkov, a beggar. He earns a little by telling lies and thus evoking sympathy in his listener. One day, come across a Sergei who doesn't give him alms but offer to give him work. Lashkov is weak and unwilling to do laborious work of chopping wood. Let us see next question. Question number 4. What is the theme of the lesson? What is the theme of the lesson? तो theme का बारे में भी हम बात किया. तो theme is the transformation due to the kind word and deeds. Kindness can transform anyone for the better. The story is based on the transformation of the depraved alcoholic through kindness, compassion, and selflessness. Olga's words and noble deed changed Lashkov's heart. He gave up drinking and mended his trained ways. Mended means repaired. Repaired his trained ways. Another theme that runs through the story is gratitude. The sense of gratitude also is another thread of the story, another fiber of the story. Let us go to the next, number 5. Who made the beggar lead a good life? You know, who is that? Olga the cook. Olga the cook is responsible for bringing the change due to his good deed and also good words. Let us see the next one. Who was Sergei? Sergei कौन थे? वो बहुत simple है. He was an advocate practicing in St. Petersburg. Sergei is an accomplished and prosperous advocate. He is a straightforward man who hates lies and believes in the hard work and refuses Lashkov the beggar to give money unless the letter works. Okay. Let's see next question number 7. Question number 7. What was the name of the beggar? Beggar का नाम क्या था? Beggar का नाम था Lashkov. The wife was Lashkov the beggar, and he made his appearance at the house of advocate Sergei. Let us see question number 8. Next question number 8. What did Sergei give to the beggar? क्या दिए थे? work to chop the wood. Exactly. One day, a man named Sergei met him. He advised him to give up begging and to do some work so he can financially be independent. So he took Lashkov to his home to give him a job of cutting firewood. Cutting firewood. Let us see the next. Number 9. What was the name of the cook? Both simple. Olga. Olga was the name of the cook. Olga was the gentle and caring cook of the advocate Sergei. She paid motherly affection to the beggar boy. Pity and concerns were emotions she comprised for the beggar boy. Her affection was exhibited by the fact that she chopped the wood for Lashkov so that he can earn a bit money. So this is the question of the compassion, and because of the compassion and the sympathy, she worked for the beggar boy, and in this way she helped him to earn some ruble or money. How much money did Sergei pay to the beggar for cutting wood? How much? Half a ruble. Half a ruble is the answer. Let us see the next question. Next question. How much money Lashkov was earning as a notary? This is also very simple. 35 ruble a month. That was the payment, monthly payment. Okay, per month payment was 35 ruble. Was the Lashkov removed from the choir? So he told the truth before Sergei. The truth was due to his drunken habit. He was working in the Russian choir. He was working in the Russian choir, and there he was removed because he was a drunkard and he could not perform better. Let us see the next. Number 13. What forced Lashkov to be a beggar? Very simple. What forced? The circumstances, certainly his circumstances made him a beggar and a liar too. Therefore the option B is correct. Let us see number 14. How did Olga help the beggar? How did Olga help the beggar? This also is described by giving him food? No. Giving him medicine? No. By chopping wood for him so that he can earn half a ruble. Therefore, Olga at first kept ridiculing his feebleness. She also scolded him. She also shows him how to work. But she keeps on crying for the beggar's sake. Thus, she keeps the beggar away from the chopping assignment or work. Let's see the next one. Number 15. Number 15. Why was Lashkov not willing to do work? Lashkov ने काम करने के लिए क्यों मतलब willing नहीं थे, राजी नहीं थे? क्योंकि उसका मतलब हेल्थ कंडीशन बहुत खराब है. हेल्थ कंडीशन बहुत खराब थे. बिकॉज ऑफ हिज ड्रंकनेस. हाँ, ड्रंकनेस के कारण मतलब हेल्थ खराब हुआ. ये भी करेक्ट है, ये भी करेक्ट है. बिकॉज ही वाज हंग्री एंड वीक. वो भी था, है ना, उसका पास पैसा भी नहीं था. हंग्री था, वीक था, फीबल था. देयरफॉर ऑप्शन डी इज करेक्ट. व्हाई ही वाज नॉट विलिंग टू डू वर्क? देखते हैं. Lashkov is not willing to do work. He agreed to chop wood for Sergei, not because he was hungry and wanted to work, but because of his pride and shame, and since he had been trapped by his own word. वो अपने बात में वो फंस गए, इसीलिए वो काम करने के लिए राजी था. लेकिन उनका काम करने के लिए ना उनका पास एनर्जी था, ना उनके पास अच्छा हेल्थ था, और मोर पर्टिकुलरली वो था बहुत मतलब भूखा और बहुत वीक. देखते हैं नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन नंबर 16. व्हाई डिड Lashkov एग्री टू वर्क फॉर Sergei? ये अभी अभी हम डिस्कस किया है. ही वाज ट्रैप्ड because he was feeling ashamed because of his own pride. So option D is correct. He agreed to chop firewood for Sergei not because he was hungry and wanted to work, but because of his pride and shame, and since he had been trapped by his own word. His strength had been undermined by drinking too much vodka, and he was unhealthy and did not feel the slightest inclination to do any work, manual work. Let us see the next question, number 17. What incident had become a turning point in Lashkov's life? है ना? तो जीवन में मतलब क्या होता है, कोई इंसिडेंट, कोई आदमी, मतलब कोई आदमी के लिए क्या होता है, टर्निंग पॉइंट होता है. वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट लैंडमार्क हो जाता है. और हमारा लश्कप के लिए वो टर्निंग पॉइंट क्या था? The work that was given, the work of the notary, work of copying, charges offer to work. So he gave the work, first the manual work and then the finer work. Olga say help, okay? Olga say help, no. Remove from the choir group, no. That means none, cannot be. So the option number is correct. Sarji came for her to do change lashkar because he was begging on the street by telling lies. Sarji has a job of chopping wood at his home. This was the turning point in Lashkar's life. Then slowly Lashkar changed his mood to live a good life. Let us see the last question, number 18. Number 18. What is the Lashkar doing before begging? Before begging, he was singing. He was singing in the choir group. He was singing in a choir group. Let us see two more questions. We'll see. Why was the Lashkar telling lies to the people? To get alms. Very simple. To get alms. Lashkar gave the reason for his telling lies that he formerly sang in the Russian choir but was fired from his job for being an encore. So he had to tell lies. He could not get along without lying, as no one would give him anything if he told the truth. If he told the truth. Let us continue now. Last question. Last question. Why did Sarji meet Lashkar after 2 years? This one also you know very well. So where it was? The right answer is in front of the theater, outside the ticket window. Outside a theater means in front of ticket window. Ticket window. Because they are going to watch the movie. Therefore, let us see. Since Lashkar knew how to write, Sarji offered him the job. When and where did Sarji meet Lashkar after 2 years? Answer. 2 years later, they met at the ticket window of a theater where Lashkar was buying a ticket. So, my dear children, I suppose you understood the whole content of the lesson with the MCQ question, with the setting, with the background, with the introduction and the elaborate summary of the lesson and introduction to the main text of the lesson. So I hope you will be making the record of this MCQ along with the textual question and answer and become very much proficient just by writing the unfamiliar words. So with this message, let me conclude. Hope to meet you very soon in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Have a very good day.